You're not making the money that you want to make in real estate yet because you don't know these 3 simple concepts when it comes to real estate investing. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down these 3 simple concepts in 3 minutes or less for each concept. Number 1, we have wholesale. Start the clock now. 3 minutes starting right now. So wholesale, what you're doing is you're assigning a contract. So when you're assigning a contract, what you're going to do is you're going to find a property, preferably distressed. You're going to put that property under contract. Then you're going to assign that contract to a cash buying investor, right? So you got 2 stages when it comes to wholesale. You got acquisitions and you have dispositions. Your acquisition is actually you purchasing the property and everything that leads up to you acquiring the property and getting that contract signed. And your dispositions is your second part where you're getting the second contract signed with the cash buying investor, right? Now, when you've accomplished both these things, acquisitions and dispositions, where you get paid is when you close, or not when you close, when the cash buyer, they close the property. And the great thing I love about wholesale or assigning is it takes no money. It's no risk, no rehab, none of that. You're just banking in your profits. All you have to do is find the property. We're still good on time. We got 2 minutes left. I explained wholesale in under 1 minute. So that's amazing. So I'm gonna give you guys some more guidance on wholesale. Also, just some different tips and trades that we found out when it comes to wholesaling. One of the big things that I figured out how to do when it comes to wholesaling is you want to go direct to seller, right? When you go direct to seller, you get their information. You can get their information through different forms. You know, we like to use a skip trace so we can get their phone number, their email without actually having to go to the property. The great thing I love about this part is that you can do this any state, anywhere. You don't actually need to be in your home state to do wholesales when you're doing skip tracing. Now, if you can't skip trace their information, you are probably going to want to be in state near where you live, or you're going to want to have a team in the market that you're targeting. So if you can't skip trace, remember what you're going to have to do all of that to get the contract with the seller, which is your acquisition period. But disposition, you can do that regardless wherever you are, to be honest with you, because you're just building up a cash buyers list. And with that list, you're assigning the original contract that you have with the seller. So when it comes to wholesaling, what we're going to do in this channel, we're going to talk about it more into deeper details with our following videos. I'm actually going to give real examples, real testimonials, real stories from clients who have been able to help by this method of real estate investing. So remember, our first method is wholesale. We still got time on the clock. Let's move on to our next one. And our next one is going to be fix and flip. So when it comes to fix and flip, this is different than wholesale because fix and flip, it is going to cost some money. The great thing I love about fix and flip, which we'll get into number 3 also, is you can purchase it in multiple ways. So there's ways you can mitigate your costs up front so you don't have to spend as much. You know, there's the traditional method like money loans where you got to put down more money and, you know, things like that. So there's just different ways, right, to do it. Now, when it comes to fix and flip, like we did in my last video discussing my first fix and flip project that I've been able to successfully do by myself. Thank you, God. In that video, how I purchased it was through creative financing. But with fix and flip, what you're doing in fix and flip is you can find a distressed property from a wholesaler and you can be that cash buying investor that purchases that distressed property. Now, with that distressed property, what you're going to do is fix distressed property and then you're going to resell it. And when I say resell, you're going to list it on the market. Preferably, I recommend you guys work with an expert real estate agent in your area because they can give you some guidance on what you should be listing it for. They can also give you some guidance on right here also the distressed property that you do find to let you know, hey, this is a good deal or this isn't a good deal. If you're a newer real estate investor, I 100% do not recommend doing fix and flips by yourself with either no mentor, no guidance, no anything like that. So definitely make sure you partner with somebody who in your market who's knowledgeable. So it's simple, just like that. Find distressed property and then you resell it in the market, then you make your money. The great thing about fix and flip is there's way bigger profits here, right? You can expand your profits tremendously. Average wholesale fee, you know, depending on area, sometimes it can be 5 to 10K, so on and so on. Fix and flip, you know, you can go way more. I've seen people make $500,000 on the fix and flip before. You know, I've seen people lose money also on fix and flips. So there is much higher risk doing it this way, but the rewards are endless. The rewards, you know, just skyrocket. But the thing is with this, it's just all about how you acquire the property in the first place. Because if you leverage all your money into one property, for example, on a fix and flip, that can prevent you from getting into other investments versus wholesale and one end. You know, you can just constantly do wholesale. That's just a constant grind, knocking doors, finding properties and such. So that is fix and flip for you. And in our further videos, we'll also discuss more fix and flips too. All right, so now we're on to our third method, which is creative financing. And creative financing is something that I learned about not too long ago. I love creative financing. And the thing is, with creative financing, it isn't taught very much, to be honest with you guys. And the reason why it's not taught much is because you got to think, who is the one that typically controls the marketing, controls advertising and such? Is bigger corporations. Think banks, for example. Banks do not benefit from creative financing because they can't tack on extra fees, they can't do points and all of that. Creative finance is structuring deals independent of banks, structuring deals directly with sellers. So the beautiful thing I love about creative financing is you can get into creative financing with literally no money. Right? It's not going to cost you any money. You can set the terms you want. You can do literally whatever you want. The opportunities are endless with creative finance. It's just, you just all have to structure your deal right. That's really one of the biggest things when it comes to creative finance. So under creative finances, you have your big two. Number one is, which owner financing is, you find a homeowner who has a property that's fully paid off, meaning they don't have a mortgage on the property. And in that deal, you're going to structure, basically, that homeowner, they become the bank. And you're paying them monthly or annually. You're going to have a set interest rate and set terms to meet that. And then you're just paying that homeowner, and you're able to take possession of the property or get the deed for the property under owner financing, right? So this is one which you don't necessarily need to have money down because you can structure a deal with no down payment and such, like owner financing. But for owner financing, remember, the property has to be fully paid off, meaning no mortgage on the property. Now, number two, which is my favorite one, which subject to means subject to seller's existing mortgage. Now, referencing the video that we just posted on my first fix and flip, how I was able to acquire that property without a significant amount of money out of pocket was because I purchased it subject to, and also that's why it was fine that we did go overtime. We went over budget because my monthly mortgage payment was $700. Like, okay, I don't care if we go over budget, to be honest with you. Even though it's annoying, it's not really affecting my pockets as much. Now with subject to, what you're doing, because it's subject to seller's existing mortgage, basically in a sense you're assuming the seller's mortgage, so all their terms. So think, if they have a 2% interest rate for 10 years left on their loan, and they're paying $1,000 a month, that's what you're taking on, right? Now, it can be a bit confusing because the mortgage still stays in the seller's name, but with you getting a deed, now you have control of the property. You can do whatever you want with it. The extra strategies are endless under subject to. You can do fix and flip. You can do long-term rentals. You can do short-term rentals, and so on and so on. That's subject to, and in our further videos also, we will get more into subject to. Bang, right there. All right, so I've been able to talk about your big three topics when it comes to real estate investing in under 3 minutes for each. So remember, our first is wholesale, our second is fix and flip, and our third is creative financing. So being that y'all stayed for this long in the video and you were able to gain some information, I want to provide you with a gift also. I'm going to give you the exact contract that I've used to close multiple wholesale deals direct to seller. And trust me, this contract has been legally checked by an attorney, so it's a very valid contract. And if I'm going to use it, I would definitely suggest you use it too. So make sure you click the description below, and in there, that link will have a free contract that you can use for a seller to get your first real estate investment deal under contract when you're doing wholesaling. So being that I gave you all this gift on wholesale, what I also want you to do is check out this very next video. And in that video, what I'm going to be doing is talking a lot more in depth, in detail on wholesaling, the things that you want to look for your properties when you're assigning them, how to go about it, more detail on everything that goes into it. So watch this next video now.